Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Noble here for Sacred Relating, your friendly neighborhood relationship strategist, along with
Adara Moselle, Master Tantric Shaman.
And we are coming to you guys with another video talking about the topics that we like to talk about because we be talking and we talk to each other. We're going to talk to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about today, Adara? Tell the people what we're talking about. Throw it at them. Let's just go right in. Let's jump in and get in it.
Maturing in your relationship.
Get
How you like me now?
Grow up. Get grown. Switching it up.
You get to grow up in your relationship, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it doesn't. It can feel like a beautiful thing, but it also can feel like, man, like you're missing out almost. So like you're losing a part of yourself.
Definitely.
You know?
Is that what maturing is?
I think so. Kind of growing into a new version of who you are and who you're going to be, especially as your ambitions and goals tend to grow or whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, I've noticed for myself that I have been more of a very generous lover to the women around me and in my space and whatnot, and also very eager, you know, and accommodating. And I'm kind of noticing that I don't really have the same space or capacity to do that anymore in the same degree. You know, there's certain things that I'm doing now that I structure for myself, and I already had the structure in place from the time that, you know, I got married. Of course, I am in an open relationship or whatnot, but from the time I got married, I had a structure in place to allow me to shift what I was doing to where I'm not as loosey-goosey with it because I have more responsibilities. But now, after 3 years of marriage, we're finally at a place where I can practice the system that I've been doing, like actually put it into work.
Were you open before you got married?
Yeah, I was always open. I was always a solo poly type of person.
It's like, since what age?
I've been open I discovered the term open at 30.
Okay.
So I would say really from there is when I officially kind of started it.
Yeah.
And I'm 42 now, so
Okay.
about 12 years.
Okay, was it like something that was like, you always felt, you just trying to fit yourself into like a monogamy?
In a way it was, because, you know, I dealt a lot with women that had other men.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't bother me.
Okay.
You know, and they would I made it very comfortable for women to talk to me about their other experiences with men and how things were with them. Because I would have my other experiences with women also.
Yeah.
But I was the type of guy that it never bothered me to hear you were with another person or you spent the night with this other person or, you know, like I was.
Did there other people know? Their partners know?
No, they couldn't. No way they did.
One Machiavelli.
No, because they weren't going to handle it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they, I had one particular situation where, like, she would tell her guys, like, I was a friend, you know, because when she was
guys
dating.
hate friends.
Yeah.
That's why.
But when she was dating somebody else officially, you know, we weren't, you know, or whatever. But of course, when they were having some troubles, you know, she needed a hug.
Free hugs.
Yeah, who you gonna call? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But even with that, you know, my level of availability and access has had to shift. You know, I've had a lot more time to dedicate towards people and things, people and their problems and what's going on with them, because I didn't have anybody else to really take care of besides myself. You know, now with a wife, kids, all that stuff, like my availability or bandwidth is a little bit different. You know, how I want to treat my sexual energy is also a little bit different. You know, it's got to be, before I would kind of do things just to do them, you know, just to pass time or feel bored or somebody just wanted some. Well, all right, you know, I'll serve it up. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw it up for you.
Can I ask you a question without sounding like silly? I'm somewhat silly.
There are no silly questions.
Prior to being married, would you, maybe not use this terminology, but maybe use this terminology, would you consider yourself a emotional support dick?
Sure. Yeah. You know, I can see that. I can see that happening. I would almost still really consider myself that. It's just that the bar for the support is a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? Like the bar, you gotta be coming with something besides just, you know, titties. You know what I'm saying? Like to get the emotional support. Like
you actually need emotional support. You actually need it. Doing things.
Like there has to be something that you're pouring in. To me, it would just be something I would do to give away, for free to help people, you know, as they need. Now is something that's more like, well, what are we doing together? Or what are we?
Yeah.
How are you folding into the greater vision of the purpose of what it is I'm trying to do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? How are you benefiting the whole?
Yeah.
Even if it is just benefiting me from personally, which is okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that still has to be a way where you understand that you're positioning within the bigger picture of what I'm trying to do in my life.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, definitely.
So like, because I think in order for me to, what I've kind of learned and cultivated over the course of my 20s and 30s, I've cultivated myself to where I'm very skilled at certain areas of, emotional support, of, sexual energy exchange, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I do pretty well for myself, in those areas. And I find that, if it's a skill that you cultivate, you should value it.
Absolutely.
A little bit, I don't have to charge people money, so I know I could, but I don't have to, but still it's a matter of just having a reciprocal energy exchange.
I like that.
Knowing what it is,
Yeah. You're right there. So that's interesting. And I think some people will be liking to hear this. So with the maturity conversation, obviously you have a wife now. You have a little boy, he's a beautiful little boy. Obviously it takes a lot of time,
it
lot
does.
of energy and supporting family and stuff. So obviously you can't support as much. But I know you said the bar went up. What made the bar raise? Was it age? Was it?
The bar raised mainly because of the energy I wanted to hold when it comes in terms of my family and community, and for myself personally.
What made that change? Like, what happened? Like, when did you
I knew I wanted to have children. I knew I wanted to have kids and whatnot, and I wanted to be a husband. I knew I wanted to be a leader of my family and within my community aspect. So I had to kind of raise the bar of who I was and what I was trying to do and my ambitions a little bit more.
Is that rooted in your identity as a man, or like what men are supposed to be doing?
No, because I had options. I could have easily devoted, like, I had women around me that were very strong, ambitious, beautiful, brilliant women that I could have attached to their mission and their focus and what they were doing and helped them and supported them and still have what I wanted in terms of like a wife and kids and all that stuff, but it was just not so much really what men should be, but like who I wanted to be, like what the choice was for me. The good thing about being exposed to polyamory and monogamy and different forms of relationships is you get to really evaluate them on their own merit and see which one actually really fits you the best. Once I was really open-minded to them and receptive, I found that polyamory works better for me. And when it comes to the type of lifestyle I want to lead, when it comes to how I want to be positioned and looked at from a family and community structure, I looked at where I wanted to be and what it takes for me to get there. And one of the things it takes was a little bit of more of a structure. Because I know that was lacking a lot within the communities of people that have polyamorous relationships, is that they didn't really come with a solid structure for how their relationships should move, function, and be. And I think that's really important.
Definitely. That's interesting. It's like, when I think about like polyamory, and we're gonna get into the maturity conversation. When I think about like polyamory and poly and all this type of stuff, it's like, was there anything that you experienced like in monogamy that was like, this is definitely not for me? That was like, this is gonna have to change. And then also like your worldview is like not just worrying about yourself, but now I'm a community man. Now I want to have impact. Now I want to build something. Like, is that something that just happened at a certain age as a man, kind of like your man biological clock, kind of like, you know what I mean, or something happened?
Well, definitely that biological clock thing is really about choice. Because it doesn't matter how old you are; it's just a matter if you have to choose to want to go down that path or not. When it comes to maturity and things like that, it was really more of a like a conscious choice that I had to make. In terms of where do I really want to be and how do I really want to be looked at, outside of everything else that people were saying or telling me I should do or whatnot. I really had to kill all of that. Like, I got rid of all the preconceived notions and everything, and then came up with like who is me, Noble.
So with that, that's a good thing, because like it brings up something. Just DB this right fast.
She's popular. Throw money out.
So, yeah, I told myself not to forget what I was going to say. What was the last thing you just said? Because I definitely forgot what I was going to say. I was like, taking like, don't forget. Forget that. I forgot.
Well, you got distracted. That's not your fault.
I should have repeated the question I had.
No, it was, last thing I said was about choosing the path I want to be on and the maturity of my relationship. And really, I didn't say this part, but I was getting ready to get into how I had, like, I've had the system in place to do this since I got married, but just I got to the place where I could start implementing the system and showing it to my wife, like how this is going to actually kind of work or whatnot.
I like it. She was open too.
She was when we first got together.
Yeah.
You know, but for her it was a little bit different because I was in a different phase. I was more light, you know what I'm saying? And she saw the way that I was as boyfriend material, not husband stuff, right? So with me trying to move the same way, it was kind of like, well, that's okay for a boyfriend, but not okay for a husband in her mind, which is like, well, that's not who I mean, still, I'm trying to do something different here, but I'm not trying to erase who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still trying to move with integrity and still, you know, have my experiences because I do know what I need as a person, as a man. You know?
So I'm going to ask you this because I'm a devil's advocate. I'm going to ask you, right? Because this is a question that non-poly people have. Well, a question that non-poly people have. Why get married if you're still open?
Well, you have to understand what marriage is about. You know, I think a lot of times when people think about that, that to me is a question for somebody who thinks the whole point of being married is just to have somebody to have sex with. You know, like, you think, oh, well, I want to be able to have sex with the same person and know that they don't have a disease, I guess. I don't know I don't want to have to use condoms, so I want to get married to one person that I can, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that's your whole motivation for getting married, then okay. But like, marriage is more than about the sex or intimacy part.
Yeah.
If you're, even in a monogamous marriage, you have friends, people that you care about, people in your community that you may talk to. I mean, I know there's some people, like going back to your previous thing about what things I didn't like about monogamy, was like there's so many different forms of cheating. Yeah. You know, like there's emotional cheating and stuff like that. Which doesn't make sense to me, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, not being put in that rigid box of, well, because I'm a man, I can't have female friends, or because you're a woman, you can't have male friends. You know what I'm saying?
Some people don't even believe men and women can be friends.
I don't really believe that personally.
Yeah, me either. All my friends are guys.
Yeah, I have a lot of female friends, you know, and some of them I've had sex with, some of them I haven't.
Same.
For me personally, sex has never ruined a friendship.
Same.
Because I don't set myself up in that point where if we do have sex, it's not going to change what we're doing together, change how we're communicating, change how we're... Weird. Yeah, it only gets weird if you're like, oh, now that we have sex, like, I have to stop being with everybody else and just be with you.
Yeah, it means everything.
Yeah, now it's a thing, but like, it doesn't have to mean that. It can just be a pleasant, energetic exchange that had to happen. Sometimes the shit just has to happen one good time and then we're done.
Sure, it's like you don't want to go back across the bridge. Like you did it, all right, it's our system.
Yeah, I've had a few of those where it's just like, you know what, that was good. I would do it again, but I'm okay.
Yeah, those kind of things.
You know, respect, love.
Yeah.
Respect. But so for me, it's really about understanding the point of marriage, which is beyond just, one-on-one relating or one-on-one sexual encounters and whatnot. You know, I got married to have a good mother for my children, for a woman who can, support me in my endeavors and what I'm trying to do in my life. For somebody who would cultivate a good home, you know what I'm saying? My shit as a bachelor, shit, I ain't had no drapes, you know what I'm saying? No carpets, you know what I'm saying? With no candles in here, shit was empty, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I need a woman to
do something.
Yeah, spruce this up, give me some color or something. I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was like I think people tend to get confused on what the actual purpose of marriage is. And with and again, for being poly, if my woman is intimate with someone else, it doesn't she doesn't lose any skills by doing that. You know what I'm saying? She's still a good mother. She's still able to show up for our home and for our family. She's still able to show up for me. You know, like just because she was intimate with somebody else or hanging out with somebody else sometimes doesn't mean that she doesn't have the capability to do any of those things anymore.
Yeah.
Because, again, for me personally, I think most people agree with that, especially men. You know, if we're with such and such other women, like, typically the girl will be great, everything be going smooth and whatnot. I got another chick, you know, get your side chick or whatever. And then it only goes bad when she finds out. You know, or she gets a hint of it. But, like, you can show up perfectly fine for your partner and in a loving way and still have other connections.
It's my thing is like, I can do all the things that you name without marrying you at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be a good woman in your life and this and that, and I can provide guidance if you want, and I could be a companion if you like, and all this other stuff. For me, marriage is about witnessing each other's lives. You know what I mean? And I'm not married. I'm in a life partnership, and the reason why I would get married because, like, I want to party. You know what I'm saying? But all the shit afterwards. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it already, right? I'm doing it already, but more than that, and this could be one of my personal wounds or whatever else, but I don't want to be a ball and chain. I don't want anybody to feel like they have to be here because of legalities. Get out if you don't want to be here.
Even in my situation, like we're not legally married.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's technically saying there's a life partnership.
Yeah.
Because it's really just the label you put on the declaration of commitment that you have to another person. That we're going to do this for a lifetime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't really need a government piece of paper to tell me that and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are certain advantages legally to getting legally married, but
Yeah, and then so me and my partner had a spiritual marriage. We had actual ceremony spiritually, and thank you. So we've been recognized like for a while in that area. But then I had a whole stint of being like a Moorish sympathizer, which I still admit to the whole Moorish thing, but at the same time, like, you know, it's just a way for them to charge money to your social security number. Your marriage certificate is whatever QSIP number, all that stuff, whatever. So I was like, I don't really want the man in my situation and then all that. But the man's always in your situation. So that part. But what I've noticed is just because you're a wife doesn't mean you're a partner. Just because you're a husband doesn't mean you're a partner. Doesn't mean they care. Doesn't mean they want the best for you. It doesn't mean any of that. You know, so I'd rather have somebody choose to want to be my partner in life. And we want to, like, in working situation, we call each other husband and wife. Like, nobody's gonna say, oh, this is my life partner. I will sometimes, but like, unless you're in a space where a partner is okay, we'll say it. But like, if the average person, my husband, wife, fair. But I totally understand being able to show up for multiple people. And I don't understand why we would necessarily restrict it all without giving any kind of grace, right? So even the road has a shoulder. You know what I mean? Your relationship should have some sort of shoulder. I'm not saying necessarily see other people or whatever. Y'all figure that out on your own, right? To each their own, okay? However, like we said last time, forever is a long time. And to think that nobody's feelings are going to waver, you're not going to change it all, you're not going to see different things, you're not going to be attracted to some handsome or beautiful person that comes your way after your wife or husband gave you the cold shoulder and been an ass hat for the last 6 months. You know, you're going to get tingly for something else. You know, I'm not saying you can act on it, but like...
Or you could.
I
think a lot of times people think that part of maturing in relationships to me also is the fact that if you do find someone else interesting for a different reason, understand that doesn't mean you have to abandon your current relationship for that.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean you have to leave and go over here because the grass is going to be greener and better.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. It's not an indictment on your commitment to your partner that you find someone else attractive or some other type of energy or whatnot.
Exactly.
You know, my wife and I had a situation where she was in a very, a newer relationship and had some NRE energy going on. You know what I'm saying?
What is NRE?
Say again?
What is NRE?
New relationship energy.
New relationship energy. Okay.
Yeah, you never heard that?
No.
NRE? Yeah, that's a thing. NRE.
No, I've had a new relationship in years.
Oh. It's like when you meet somebody somebody new and you're just all excited to meet them and see them and stuff. You're like, ooh, I want to be around this person. We're doing this. Oh, we're doing that. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it wasn't there for me. I was like, how long is this going to last? At some point, especially after you know, do the dang do. Like, this is going to, how much longer is this going to last? I give you 2.5 weeks.
Okay, you kind of, see, you're in it, but you're just got a pessimistic look on it. You
well, I don't expect most people to be around for a long time. Just nature of life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if we don't have anything that we're like really locked in for, like a genuine appreciation for each other, I don't really see why. Like we might like still like we'd be cool to want to see each other here, but the average like fling or something, it's been a fling. And so I'm different. I like people after an extended period of time being around you. I really like people when I first meet them.
Really?
Yeah, I'm never like, oh, I've got to call this guy. Never, ever.
That looked weird when you did. I was like, that looked like you.
Ass out of here. Everybody's, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing things because this nigga, you know. But like seriously, I've had like 2-3 Christians in my life. I never was the one who was like, oh, the musician's fine. People like. Dating myself. Oh, immature. You remember immature? Immature is so fine. This and that thing. Last year, blah blah blah. Looked like a turtle to me since the beginning.
Not a turtle. Not a ninja turtle. Oh Lord.
He's handsome and everything but turtle. Like, you know, Drake was like a little puppy to me. Like all kind of different. I'll edit this out. However, you know.
No, leave it there.
Yeah. Like I'm I guess not easily impressed. But like the guys that I have liked have not been specifically handsome. They've been reasonable, whatever. I think my husband looks really good. But they have a feature I'm like, that's different. But over time, I think that's the thing I'm going to like the most. Right now, it looks stupid to me. But in a little while, it's going to be hot. So we're going to see how long you stay around, because then your face is going to look prettier to me.
Okay.
I'm different.
Longevity.
I'm different.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it. Yeah, you're attracted to longevity and consistency.
Yeah.
Who are you around over time for a purpose?
Yeah, or
that
like
makes sense.
I see you more than once. Yeah, I see you in different environments. I see you like. I mean, I might think you're hot, and I would do you immediately. But I don't like you. Different.
Right, and that's understanding a mature aspect of relating.
Yes.
Like, yes, you could do.
Yes.
But like, you actually want to understand, get to know, be around people because it makes you feel safer.
It makes you feel safer, and also could be proper response or whatever. However, I don't want somebody whose penis I can get easily. Because that means everybody can get it easily, and I don't want somebody that would do any chick. You can do other chicks, but not any chick. It's different.
Not any chick.
Not any chick. No, not her. Stuff like that.
Well, what's the criteria? Like how they look, or like how the energy is? Like, what do you think is the criteria for?
How they look, their energy, the type of woman they are in general, the way they carry themselves, grammar abilities. Because I'm an energy person. You can't be bringing an energetic parasite.
Oh, man. I picked up this girl today from Lyft, and she was so fine. From like here down. Like it was like, oh my God. And then she had a cute face or whatever. Then she started talking a little bit, and it was like just the most hood rattiest hood rat, ever hooded. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I'm saying, I was like, yeah, but she had on like this gray bodysuit with her tits all out. I was like, oh.
The bodysuit, she gave it away.
Oh my God, it should have. I didn't know.
Well, you probably couldn't see it was her little coochie sweater right here. It wasn't warm enough yet. It wasn't warm enough.
But no, man, she just bad. But for me personally, I have always I was never the type of person who would have sex with anybody. I would exchange energy with most people. Like there was some women who were like, oh, they would want to have sex with me, and I'd be like, no, but you can suck my dick.
Yeah.
You can do that.
You can give me head.
You can give me head. I will allow that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? and like me, like I've always had criteria. It is a little bit stiffer now than what it was then. But it's not like because I even told somebody that I would be into with anybody, but I meant that in no sense of like, it doesn't matter really what you look like.
Yeah, for real.
What your body type is or things
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be tall or skinny or short, you know what I'm saying? Big titty, low titty. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I say anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
There is still a certain energetic profile of a person that is, mandatory. You know, I've had some really good attractions to people that were not very. I've had some very intense, powerful sexual connections with women who were not physically attractive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, it's so great. They just appreciated it so much.
Yeah.
They just appreciated it so much. They were just so thankful. It was just like, I was like, well, I got you. You cool?
Yeah.
Gave me like half a pound of weed almost, leaves and stuff. Like, how could I not?
You look good, chick, man.
You look good chick.
Man, shout out to my sisters that feel like they're not that pretty, man. Because I would have loved them, And I feel like I'm a late bloomer and all this other stuff. So I know exactly what y'all like. I used to be heavier. I lost like 60 pounds and all kind of different things. Like my teeth were messed up when I was growing up. So like I didn't get a lot of attention like that. So there was a phase where I was like, I'm happy to be getting some sort of attention. I still got a little bit of that. And it shows up in the whole like exhibitionist type of thing. And in fact, and I'm also a Leo. So but like, yeah, I remember my first boyfriend in like 3rd grade. I would just give him stuff. Like every day I would just bring him something. Anything. Like, anything. Presents and shit. Like I'm just happy to have somebody. You know what I mean? So they kind of like, hit me in a soft spot. But it's like, it's a real thing. Because it's like, I might be better than them other bitches. But because of whatever, maybe I look like my dad, I don't get no love. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, I'm beautiful. You know what I mean? I'm beautiful. Now with all these raggedy ass bitches that take your kids away and everything else, clacking their nails and shit at you, but.
I don't know what that is still.
Whatever, man, I beat up some girl did really, really fast. I know her name, not gonna say it, but she was doing it really good. I was like, oh, she got the rhythm.
But yeah, I think that's important before it comes to maturing and understanding what it is that you're wanting, where you're wanting to go, and not being sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Even for me, there's certain things that I would like to do or maybe get into. There still has to be some type of structure within them. Like, even if I would consider being a swinger a little bit. Just trying out the different, just seeing, because I don't have time to cultivate a whole relationship.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't have the time. So I'm like, can we like be friends and hang out and exchange and still be friends and hang out later? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we do that? And then as I grow and get into a different level, then I can maybe have a more sustained relationship.
I think you have to be mature to be a swinger.
I think, yeah.
Like the men that I meet at so there's different kinds and levels of swinging and swinging activities and events. Okay. Just like we're like, there's different categories, right? So I've been to, so we live in Atlanta. I don't know if anybody knows about Atlanta, but there's the Riverdale version of the swinging lifestyle events. Okay. And then there's like, no shade to Riverdale, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody smelled like Newports. And they were selling like sausages out front. And you know what I'm saying? Some girl came to be like, where your sexy shit at? And I was like, oh, no, bitch, no. Where your sexy shit at? Because I was like, still pole, right? And everybody just there looking like, I don't know. Everybody ate pork. So I can tell. Everybody still ate pork. Couple people, I can deal with that. But anyways, and there's other ones that are like, very elevated and upscale and nice, like in the environment, and then also in the people. So at Match Playhouse, when we were doing like the Match Playhouse things, the guys that I would talk to there had a certain level of confidence, maturity of like with their women, and just her freedom and seeing her as a person that enjoys certain things other than like, that's my wife, that's my property. It's like, oh no, that's my babe. I want her to have whatever she wants. And if it happens to be that dick, she can have that too.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? I just want her to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I was like, oh, nice.
Right.
Advanced. I like it. Not saying that's what it is in everything, but there is a certain level, especially for men, that's required.
Yeah.
And for women, because if you see another woman doing something, you might want to bash her across the head, which I was talking about before y'all got there. It was okay. Yeah, so like that's one aspect of maturity, but I think that's required. But just like in our relationships in general, our original conversation of maturing in relationships, I know I have. How's your relationship matured you?
Oh man, quite a bit. You know, for me personally, you know, it was an initiation for me to. It was an initiation for me to embody the energy that I'm trying to embody now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is a more leader, king type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I really wasn't on that spectrum before.
Mm-hmm.
What it's really forcing me to do is to kind of get more clear on like who I am, what I want. What does it look like for me to be within the king energy?
Mm-hmm.
What does it look like for me to be supported within that energy? What type of support I need and feels good for me? And being able to stick to my square of who I am as a person and be confident in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's really been a big thing, you know, for me personally.
I like it. Like, what kind of things have you had to let go of?
What have I had to let go of? Oh, man. I had to let go of some of the carefree aspects of things that I used to have. You know, I didn't really need a structure as much before because it was just easy just to free flow and be honest with everybody. You know, I'm just supporting them in a way where, you know, it doesn't really, there was no real consequences to those actions that I would have, you know. And now there are repercussions to things I do. So I had to let go of the kind of carefree attitude to a certain degree.
I like it. And I guess there are repercussions. Because at first my mind was like, are the repercussions somebody else's feelings? But obviously there's other repercussions that are outside of feelings and thoughts and stuff. Because one thing that I've learned, because I know people have been a people pleaser, reformed people pleaser, is I had to learn to not care about people's feelings and not care about repercussions. You know?
Right.
I obviously do care. I'm not trying to do anything wild or anything, but at the same time, I can give too much, you know, or self-sacrifice, and then I end up resenting that person. So let me just go ahead and do what I want to do because I'm not going to resent you if I do it. Otherwise, I feel like you help me back and all this other stuff. I can't be free. You're stifling my light. All of that kind of stuff. And when I get that freedom, I choose not to do anything sideways. Because you gave me the freedom.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people are like, how can you do sensual massage and still have a partner? I was like, because I love my partner and I can't help what I'm good at. And God gave me gifts. I'm going to work in the gifts. What are you talking about? Yeah. You know, but more than that, it's like, I have a lot of energy. I need certain outlets. There is a beautiful healing that I appreciate in that, and I knew that I needed a partner that was going to be open to it. Getting him open to it was a thing. At first he was cool with it, but then there's been obviously these points where it was a place of contention for us, and we had to work through it, and those moments really grew both of us in individual ways, and I feel like we have a more authentic relationship.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
Same with me and mine.
Yeah.
Because there were some things that will come up. There's some things I didn't do well.
Yeah.
Some mistakes I made, you know what I'm saying? Things that I would consider mistakes that she made that we both just had to take accountability for ourselves and grow within that to the best that we could.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing that people go through.
Yeah, it's tough. Because I mean, I'm really big on not losing myself. Because I feel like it took me so long to find myself. For some of you, you probably already knew yourself for a long time and all this other stuff. But like, I feel like a lady blooming. Whatever that means. Like, whose timeline are we really on, right? But, yeah, because here's the thing. Because if I give you 20, 30, 40 years of life, and then you die, you leave me, you this and that, and I didn't do anything that I wanted to do with my life.
Oh man, resentments.
Man, Who wants to live like that?
I don't know. I mean, when you think about that, it reminds me of one of my aunts and uncles on my stepfather's side. You know, my uncle, he was in his, probably 70s, 80s, something like that. And his wife was maybe 10, 15 years younger than him. And he was this type of guy that was just very, very bullheaded, you know what I'm saying? Had a certain way about him, very staunch, you know what I'm saying? And he was, sick and dying. Instead of calling the hospital, he drove himself to the hospital, and he wouldn't let his wife drive. My aunt, like, she was in there just praying. He was swerving around the road and shit. He's like, no, you ain't driving.
Why are you in the car, Auntie?
She was like, hey, you in the car. He was like, you in the car. We going. He made it to the hospital. He drove. He got there some kind of way, and he ended up passing away that night. She grieved, of course. It was really rough. And I saw her during the funeral, and she was a little sad. She was sad. And I remember seeing her maybe a few months later, and I had never seen her seem more alive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure.
She was just so, just out, doing things, smiling, just doing what she wanted to do. Like, she was all happy and just walking with pep in her step and whatnot. I was like, okay. It'd be like that sometimes. Where sometimes people,
like that
you gotta sometimes you just gotta get people have to kind of move out the way for you to really live your life, in certain cultures.
Yeah.
And the great thing for me about polyamory is that we don't really have to get stuck in that loop where we have that. We can live the life that we want to live now with our partners, rather than waiting to be authentic after this nigga dies or some shit.
So, this is a beautiful point because this is what I learned on my tantric path and in my spirituality and my walk with God. So, I was raised Christian and awesome.
Southern Baptist.
Yes. I think we're non-denominational or something. But I loved God and I loved trying to know God. Always, still do. And when I ended up coming on this path, there were several things that were revealed to me and shown to me and all this other stuff. And having to have happiness and heaven after you die is some BS. It's what Spirit told me. You're supposed to be able to have joy and happiness while you're alive. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to have your money and your riches and whatever. I put that post up about me removing the entity off that girl, and people was like, oh, she's a witch, she's a demon, and it's okay because she gonna be left here on earth to rot with the rest of the heathens. And
you be reading the comments?
Definitely, they're insane. And it's you gotta say a few things because it's gonna keep the thing rolling. But the way my tantra hive came for them, I didn't know I had a hive. But they came for it, man. It was some good conversation. Yeah, they were. And I did so well. I had graceful comments. I took it as teaching moments. I was you scrappy headed bitch. This is what I want to say. Who do you serve? Digress. Weird question, bitch. but I greatly learned that I can have the things that I want here in this life, and it's up to me to do the things that's required to have them, which is honoring myself, asking for help, learning, being strong enough to have the determination to do certain things, all of this. And my partner, everything I've asked for, right? In so many different ways, is the perfect catalyst to drive me down these roads. And this is gonna sound, anyways, I don't even know how to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway because this is no shade. It's just how it is, right? Okay. So, my husband's a Capricorn, and he's very earthy. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very aggressive and very ambitious and very this and that. So him being that way gives me a reason and a need to have to be a bit ambitious sometimes, because otherwise we're just gonna keep doing the same thing. Keep doing the same thing. And so for change, I have to keep myself motivated. I have to decide to take action and this and that. Which that same thing is what drives me in my spiritual walk to be diligent and to be and to dream and to be creative and to believe that things are possible and whatever else. And here he is like, yeah, girl, you can do it. I'm here. What you need? You want to carry something? Yes. Carry all these things and set it up. But long story short, I was saying that to say how my partner is a perfect source or catalyst on my spiritual path and growth path. So if I was to acquiesce fully to the submissive wife role and not necessarily be who I actually am, I'd be doing him a disservice, myself a disservice, our family a disservice, everything.
Right. It wouldn't work because you would have expectations on him that he really couldn't fulfill. That's not really who
that's not his nature.
Yeah.
It's not his nature. And that gets into the conversation, which I was going to ask you about, of like archetypes.
Oh, yes. We gotta get into archetypes.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
You can't go talk too much about it. You're about to get to the class that we're doing the sacred relating soon, where I want to break down about the whole archetype system that I have. Like 9 archetypes for women, 9 for men, how they all intersect, how they pair up, all that stuff. Go.
Yeah, no, please. I appreciate that because that's my thing. It's like, I don't know if people realize how important understanding your archetypes and your partner's archetypes are for your relationship and your choosing and the way you show up. It goes into how you manage your finances, who leads here, and here, who decorates, all the different things. And like, I can decorate, but my partner can also decorate. So I decorated the last house, he decorated this house. You know, like different, we have skills. And it's like, if I was forcing him to be somebody he isn't, he wouldn't be able to be who is, which is not what a good life partner does.
It's not.
But it is what a wife does sometimes.
That's true. But no, it's not. But that's really the key to it. That's really the basis for everything that you just said is when we do our sacred relating class, I developed a system to help people to plug in, to understand first, know and understand what their archetypes are and how to plug them in to know like what they are, what they want, how to get what they want, how to look at what they used to be to like change it or alter it or.
So you can switch them around, like you can adjust stuff in yourself.
Well, you can. Your archetypes that you are born with, it's kind of like your zodiac. You're always going to be a Leo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that you can't take on some Virgo traits to get something done, for example. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the same thing with these archetypes that we're going to be talking about, because there are, energies that all are in you, and you're going to need to be able to tap into some of them at different points in time.
Yeah.
So I teach people how to do that and how to do it in conjunction with other people within your relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the whole system.
That's pretty dope. And while he has that one, I got you on the energetic side with archetypes and awakening your feminine and masculine energy so that you're showing up in a very well-rounded way. So like as wives, girlfriends, single women, whoever, single men, whomever, you might want to be able to put on different hats. You know what I mean? And you can do that. And when it comes to supporting your partner, they may require more energies that